Mariela, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so in the last couple of videos, I have showed you guys how to find influencers to promote your brand, your product, to do influencer marketing, right? In this video, I'm going to show you how to know if that influencer is the right one to work with. I have told you my horror stories before working with influencers, and based on that, I know that not every influencer is the right one to work with. You might be blinded by the fact that an influencer came back to you and they have 1 million followers and they want to promote your product, but again, they may not be the right person or the right influencer to promote your product. I'm going to show you 7 things to look for before deciding if you actually want to work with that said influencer. But before we get started, be sure you smash that subscribe button for more content on how to grow your small business. Be sure you give this video a thumbs up, and be sure you join my Discord community. All right, 7 ways to check if an influencer is the right influencer to work with to promote your brand using the Modash tool. I told you guys about this tool on my last video, how it has been an absolute game changer for me and for my brand. It is an amazing tool for looking for influencers, finding influencers, analyzing everything that has to do with that influencer, and most importantly, finding an influencer's contact info. A lot of the questions I get on my videos about finding influencers is like, okay, well, how do I find their email? I know that is the tedious work with having to find influencers, but I showed you guys how the Modash tool has pretty much change the game in terms of that. Be sure you check out my last video on that if you haven't already. And yeah, let's get into it on how you can use the exact same tool to find the influencer, but then to vet the influencer to see if they are even worth working with. Okay, if you guys remember from my last video, this is what the Modash tool looks like. This is where you will input like all of the criteria and all the things that you want an influencer to have, so you can then find the influencers that you want to work with. But now I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm just using myself as an example because I don't want to put nobody else on blast, but I am not an influencer. Some of you sometimes send me messages asking me to promote your product. I'm not an influencer, guys. Okay. Alright, so once you look up the influencer individually, you then can click on their profile and you'll have this handy dandy report right here on the side. And what you usually want to do is view the full report. Okay, so number 1 thing to look at when you're looking to work with an influencer is how many fake followers do they have. This is very important because once upon a time, influencers, or just people who wanted to grow on Instagram specifically, were buying followers and likes and views and everything left and right just because they wanted their profile to look more credible or to look bigger or to look whatever in order to attract brand deals. Of course, you want to avoid paying influencers who have fake followers because then you're paying them and the content is not actually getting in front of anyone. You might be blinded by the fact that they have 1 million followers, but are those followers real? Okay, as we can see here, Mariela has 25.15% fake followers. So the thing is, every profile is going to have fake followers because unfortunately for us, Instagram is full of bots and all of these other scam accounts. Instagram is just infested with those. It's annoying. So all accounts are going to have fake followers, but the rule is if an account has more than 25% fake followers, then that could be a very, very clear indication that that account has probably engaged in buying followers, which is a no-no. So if that number is well over 25%, you probably shouldn't work with that influencer. Number 2, audience engagement. Okay, so Mariela has an audience engagement of 1.6%, maybe because she has not been posting. But on Instagram, the average engagement is about 2%. You want to make sure there's somewhere around the 2% mark. I think my rule is I have refrained from working with influencers whose engagement rate is like under 1%. At that point, I'm just like, And this is so important. I cannot stress this enough because it's something that I did not take into account up until recently. I did not take into account up until when I found this tool, because there was no way for me to like know this. But number 3, audience demographics, so important. The audience demographics is probably one of the most important things that you want to look at, because you only want to work with influencers who audience demographics looks like your target audience. So let's say I am going to hire Mariella to create a post for me, or maybe I want her to become an affiliate for my brand, or I just want her to promote my skincare products, right? My brand is in the United States. I need my audience and my customers to be in the United States. I know that my ideal customer is a female between the ages of 25 and 40. I know that they're most likely to be mothers, so on and so forth. So I need Mariella's audience to kind of, also fit in that category. Okay, 72% of her followers are in the United States. That's good. Gender split. Okay, so Mariella has about 39% male followers and 61% female followers. Age and gender split. Okay, most of her followers are between the ages of 25 and 34, which, as I mentioned earlier, are within my target audience. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, most of her followers are interested in friends, family, relationship, clothes, shoes, handbags, accessories, beauty and cosmetics, toys, children, baby. Okay, so I know that most of her followers are probably mothers. So the interest is something that you do want to pay close attention to, because if Mariella's followers were mainly interested in sports, I don't know how that would convert to skincare. So yeah, very, very important. You want that influencer's audience demographic to reflect your target audience. Number 4, content quality. And there are 3 things that go into this. Number 1, how is their production quality, right? And that just means like, is their content good looking? Is it clean? Does it look like, I hope it doesn't look like they're like filming from a potato. And you specifically want the production quality to be good, because remember, you want to be able to repurpose that content that they are creating. So you want good content. Number 2, caption quality. And this is another one that I didn't understand the importance of. If you go to an influencer's Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or whatever, and they are not giving any information whatsoever on their caption, like they are not one of those people or those influencers that they like talk to their audience through their captions. If they don't do that, this could be a red flag, because the caption is such a good way for anyone who's trying to build an audience to connect with their audience, because you may not always be able to include all the information in the content, video, or photo itself. Sometimes you need to elaborate on the caption. And I have seen that influencers who are very elaborate on their captions and are just really talking to their audience, those are the ones that perform the best. Because let's say if they post a video about, the healing clay mask, it'll dry out your acne. I would love to see that influencer to then like dive in deeper in the caption and just talk about more about the benefits of the healing clay mask, why the healing clay mask works, talk a little bit more about the Perco Naturals brand. Like, I really love seeing influencers that put that much effort, because I know that effort pays off. And number 3, when it comes to content quality, which is something I have made fun of before, and I told you guys that it's something that is very important to me now. Does this influencer ever talk? You want to work with influencers who are comfortable in speaking to their audience. If this influencer is not talking to their audience, how are they going to tell them about all the great benefits and all the great things that your product can do? So if you go into an influencer's page and all they do is post pretty pictures, no offense to any influencers, that might not be the right influencer for you. Unless unless you are in a niche where that could be beneficial. And the only niche that comes to mind right now for me is maybe fashion. Obviously, if you're selling a handbag, if you're selling shoes, if you're selling clothing, that's something that is very like visually aesthetics. The visual aesthetics are what's like the most important. But if you have a product that needs explanation, you want to go with influencers that talk and speak to their audience. Number 5 to look at when working with an influencer is their growth rate. And what that simply means is the influencer currently growing? Pretty much, is your content and your product and your promotion living in that influencer's page going to be beneficial on the long run because their page is constantly growing? And that is another thing that you're able to see on the Modash tool. So it kind of gives you a good idea of their growth rate and if they are growing or if they are losing followers. Are they not posting enough? Are they not engaging with their audience enough? Are they just kind of, no longer being an influencer to the point that their audience is diminishing? Maybe that's not the best place for your content to live in, long term. And the sixth thing that you can look at when you are working with an influencer is their paid post performance. Mariella has never had a paid post, so we are unable to see this for her page, but this handy dandy Modash tool will actually show you somewhere over here how a paid post by that influencer performs. So that information can be really useful because you can actually see how a paid post by another brand worked on that influencer's page. And it can even give you a greater idea if their sponsored posts were with similar brands or similar products as yours. So if Mariella did a sponsor post before with a skincare brand and the post did really well, then that will automatically tell me that her page is really good when it comes to promoting skincare products, and that is something that her audience will actually be engaging with. And last but not least, number 7, brand value and voice alignment. And this is not something you need a tool to figure out. It simply doesn't make sense for that influencer to be promoting your product, right? Again, guys, like I know sometimes we get blinded by the fact that someone has 1 million followers and they want to promote our product and we're just like, oh my gosh, like yes, here, take it. But that doesn't always make sense, okay? If I have a natural skincare brand for treating problematic skin, does it really make sense for someone who is a sports influencer to promote my brand? One, their audience is not interested in seeing natural skincare content, so the content is not going to perform well. And it also comes down to the image that you want to give your brand. I already know for a fact the image I want my products to have. I know for a fact which kind of people I want to put my product in front of. So I know that my most ideal influencers are usually women themselves between the ages of 25 and 40, professional women, women who are mothers, and women who are very health conscious, maybe someone who runs like a health and wellness page. I know that it has to be within those niches. It wouldn't make sense for me to promote my product with an influencer who might have all these millions of followers, but it's not the image. They don't have the image, and it's not the image that I want to give my brand. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Alright guys, that is it that I had for this video. I really hope that you are finding this information helpful, because I wish I had all of this information literally just a year ago before spending so much time and so many thousands of dollars on influencers that, resulted in nothing for my brand. So I really hope you are taking this information, you're running with it, and you are using it. I will be linking an article on the description box that has so many more details to the things that I just said, those 7 things that to look for in an influencer. So if you want to read more on that, absolutely be sure you check out that article. I want to thank Modash for sponsoring this video, and again for bringing this awesome tool to my eyes. Guys, I've been using this tool for the last couple of months, and it has literally been a game changer for finding and working with influencers. I am using this not just to find influencers, but even to find affiliates to work with me and with my brand. So thank you so much, Modash, for inventing this, and thank you so much for reaching out to me and allowing me to make these videos and share it with you guys. If you guys have any questions about the Modash tool or anything that I said, be sure you are joining my Discord channel. It is a community that I am trying to build of all small businesses and all of you guys. The link to join, it is also on the description box. And other than that, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.